Hello and welcome to This Week in Falcons Athletics, presented by Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin. My name is Matt Menzel. Great to be back with you after we took last week off. Hope you had a blessed Easter. Now a couple of weeks left in Falcons Athletics to wrap up this 2024-25 school year. On this edition, we talk in our second segment about track and field to get ready for the Outdoor NAC Championships this weekend in De Pere. But first, let's talk men's lacrosse. They have a big semifinal coming up at Dubuque on Wednesday, fresh off a quarterfinal victory against IIT. And to do that, being joined by Preston Meyer, back now for his junior season in the midfield. I want to take you back, though, first to Wednesday last week, wrapping up the regular season, an emotional win against MS. So how were you guys able to play comeback and win that game?
Yeah, obviously it was a big game. We knew going into it we needed to win to then get a home playoff game. So it was basically, we treated it as a playoff game. We were down 5, I believe, at halftime. And really, we all had the confidence because we didn't feel like we were playing badly. We just needed more energy and to just keep believing because we were running what we wanted to run. Shots just weren't falling. Their goalie was playing great. So I think it was just persevering and believing in our game plan. And then we were able to come out with a lot of energy second half and then make that run.
Yeah, 1 point scoring, 10 unanswered goals. Again, that's the case of seeing 1 or 2 or 3 goals go in and go, hey, okay, we got this.
Yeah, a lot of it's momentum. It comes from people on the bench cheering us on. Like you said, just seeing them go in, that builds confidence. And lacrosse is really a game of runs. If you're winning face-offs, you can get those 4 or 5 goal runs, or in our case 10. So a lot of it comes with getting that extra possession, and then the momentum is the biggest thing. Everyone on the team believing, coming out with energy, and that's huge, and it was for us on Wednesday.
Well, as mentioned, with that victory, that guaranteed a home date, a quarterfinal against IIT on Saturday. There were a number of different scenarios that could have played out. Could have gone to IIT, could have gone to Dubuque, but got the home game against the Scarlet Hawks. And you look at that quarterfinal, avenging a loss against IIT from back on March the 26th. How critical was that strong start you guys had on Saturday?
Oh, it was big. That was the biggest part of the entire game, and some of us were talking to it going into it. We need to come out strong and show them that it's not going to be like last time. And we were fired up to get them again. We did not play our best game earlier in the season, which was a very disappointing loss for us. We came back with some adjustments, a different game plan, and it worked out very well.
Yeah, jumped out to an 8-1 lead, and eventually would go on and pick up the victory by the final score of 13-5. Now have won 7 straight, have the Falcons. You look at this stretch, 7 straight victories. What has been working during this run?
Yeah, I think we are all just meshing together. I can mainly speak for the offense. I feel like we all have found our roles. With Max, Caleb, Bryce, me, Gio, and Tyler, we all kind of know what we can do, and we really have found a strong way to play off of each other and play to our strengths. And then the defense has really come a long way as well. I think they're playing together really well as a unit, and we've made certain adjustments as the season has went on, and it's really helped us just come together and get this win streak.
You talk about figuring out roles on the attack. How about for you, coming off an injury from last season? What happened? What was the road to recovery?
Yeah, so it was a fracture in my foot. It was a Jones fracture, which is typically common for like basketball players. But I had to get surgery on it and then was out for the entire season. So a lot of it at first was I'm a dual sport athlete, so cross country in the fall. So I was working a lot with Coach Russ on some pool workouts, just like building up, running, like starting off slow, doing as simple as 1 minute on, 1 minute off for running. So that was the biggest thing. And then by the time the fall came, I was good to go. I haven't had any problems, and so then lacrosse-wise it was really just, I haven't played a game in so long, so it's just getting that competition just feeling the experience, being with my teammates, that sort of thing.
Well, you mentioned a dual sport athlete, so cross country, lacrosse, certainly a unique combo.
Yeah.
How does cross country help you, though, I guess, just up and down, running all the different laps you do in lacrosse?
Yeah, it definitely helps just playing midfield. Like, you run a lot. Like, I don't track how much I run, but with the clearing, just how fast-paced the game is, you run up and down the field a lot. So I think it gives me a big advantage to be able to help out in the clear, kind of push the pace in the game, and stay fresh throughout the entire game.
So now this year, finally being back and healthy on the lacrosse field, how do you feel like your confidence has grown as the season's gone along?
Yeah, that's been the biggest thing. Obviously, early on is just kind of weird, is a different experience I wasn't used to. Kind of felt more pressure early on. And then, yeah, I think settling into our roles with our teammates was one of the biggest things, finding my spot in the offense, knowing what I can do to help the team, and then from there, just building game after game. I became more confident, found different ways to get involved, and it's been fun.
Yeah, you look at your last number of games, really stepping up. You go back to the matchup at Edgewood back on April the 19th, 5 goals, couple of assists. Then that game against MSOE last week on Wednesday, 1 goal and 4 helpers. What worked for you in those two matchups?
Yeah, the biggest thing for me is just being aggressive on dodging, trying to initiate the offense as much as possible. And most of the times I get a favorable matchup because they put a long stick midi on Geo, and so then I have the short stick. So I put a lot of pressure on myself to try and get the offense going, beat my guy one-on-one, and then from there it's just reading the defense, making the right play, almost like a point guard in basketball.
Let's wrap it up by talking about the matchup ahead coming up on Wednesday, a 4 o'clock start at Dubuque. You guys saw them earlier this season, a tough 15-14 loss in overtime. What do you expect Wednesday in the semifinal?
Yeah, we have all the confidence in the world. We believe we should have won that game. It was tough, back and forth, but we know there's some things that we can clean up from that game, and I think we all believe it was more of our own mistakes that hurt us than what they were doing. And so we love the matchup too. Just like IIT, we lost them earlier in the season, so it's nice to get to have a sort of get-back game and bring a lot of energy to it.
So that takes place on Wednesday. Winner moves on. We'll play in the championship game on Saturday against the winner of Lake Forest and Aurora. Preston, thanks a lot for your time. All the best on Wednesday.
Yeah, thank you.
And stay tuned for more this week in Falcons Athletics presented by Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin.
I can't imagine being any other profession than an orthopedic surgeon. We have the privilege and we have the responsibility to make people better. We've been fortunate enough to take care of professional athletes. We've also been fortunate enough to take care of our neighbors and friends who trust us to give them back their life.
One of the main reasons I came here was because this is the way healthcare is meant to be delivered. Being devoted exclusively to orthopedic care means that we can focus on delivering specialized care for every patient. And that includes not only the surgeons and the physicians, but also anesthesia, controlling pain, the nurses, and the scrub techs, and everyone in recovery is dedicated to treating conditions that are very similar for people.
Our tagline is an uncommon focus on you. We think the focus on the patient experience is what sets us apart. Before we make any process or clinical decision at the hospital, we start with the same question. Is this what's best for the patient? If we can't answer yes, we move on to the next idea. Our nurses provide care for no more than 3 patients per shift, whereas other facilities, they might provide care for 7 or even 8 patients per shift. We think this personalized care is what sets us apart from others.
I think that dedication to our patients is our #1 focus. And you can technically do a good operation, but if you're not centered on the patient, they're not necessarily going to have a great outcome.
The Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin is physician-owned. It's physician-led. We have the responsibility to make the right decision for every patient. We also have the freedom to make the right decision for every patient.
Physicians and staff collaborate through regular meetings, weekly and monthly, and with a relatively small team, we're able to change the way we do things if we need to tweak something to make it perfect.
The facility specifically was designed so that quality could be measured and maintained and sustained. When you have 7,000 patients a year receive their surgery here, it's important that patient number 1 and patient number 7,000 receive the same care.
We place an extremely high priority on the patient experience here. We send surveys to each and every person that receives care at our hospital. Those survey results come back directly to me. I review them and share them with our senior leadership, as well as the staff and the physicians that provide the care to those patients.
There's almost 5,000 hospitals in the country that are measured. The Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin measures number 1, not number 2, not number 3, not runner-up, number 1 in patient satisfaction in the state of Wisconsin for the last 10 years running.
Welcome back to This Week in Falcons Athletics, presented by Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin. Get ready for the NAC Outdoor Track and Field Championships this weekend, Friday, Saturday, up in De Pere. I'm being joined by a senior sprinter, jumper, Sabrina Moore. My name is Matt Metal. Thanks again for joining us. And how about for you? I want to start by the fact that you're a dual sport athlete. Obviously, you play soccer as well. So let's go back to the fall. Soccer season comes to a close. How quickly do you switch gears and start focusing on indoor track and field? Do you get a little bit of time off?
I do. I take a week off usually just to give my body a little bit of rest. But then I basically go right into it because usually the track preseason has already started by the time soccer is ending, which we take as a good thing because it means soccer season is going late. So yeah, usually I take a little bit of a break, but then the mindset and gears basically just shift to track. So yeah.
So this past winter, how did the indoor season go for you?
It was okay. It wasn't exactly what I was hoping for. It took a little bit of a mindset shift to kind of accept that, getting personal bests isn't always realistic every meet. And I think the past 4 years, being a fifth year now, the past 4 years, I just had honestly really good seasons. And so when it didn't go exactly how I was hoping this year, it was a little bit difficult to wrap my head around, especially with track being such a transparent sport. And it's like if you don't run the times or get the marks that you want to, you feel like you're not doing well. So that was a little bit difficult to manage, but my team has been so supportive, and not being here practicing with the team so much because I was doing clinicals was super helpful to have just great teammates and amazing support from them, and kind of help me stay on my feet and enjoy this last year. So.
Well, let me ask you, how difficult or challenging is it trying to juggle real life with the athletic side of things?
Yeah, it was a big change. I was only really going to meets for the most part for indoor season, and then for outdoor I started coming on Fridays to practice with the team for our relay. And that was definitely a little bit challenging, just like finding the motivation to kind of work out on my own. We don't always think of track as a team sport. It's a very individual sport, but we have made such an amazing team culture over the past couple years, and it really made me miss my teammates a lot and not practicing with them. So it was a little bit tough, but I do feel that this year kind of gave me a glimpse into what the future will look like after graduation, not always being with the team and not being on a sport.
Let me ask you, too, about, you mentioned, okay, maybe the indoor season didn't go the way you were hoping, but you look at your maturation over the 4+ years now here at Concordia. How do you feel like you have grown and been able to deal with the highs and lows that come with sports?
Yeah, it's definitely been a lot. I think that, again, it's really just your mindset and being able to, I feel that in sports, it's not only physically being able to overcome challenges, but you need to mentally overcome challenges too. Especially with track, you need to realize that, like I said, personal bests aren't realistic every single meet. You're going to have some rough days. Your body's not going to feel great all the time, but finding the motivation to push, give it your all every single meet, because what do you have to lose? You just got to do it for yourself, do it for your teammate. And I've kind of switched the mindset to, rather than trying to beat other people, just beat myself, do better for myself. And I think that's really helped me kind of be successful over the past few years.
All right, so now take us through this outdoor season. Summarize how this season's gone thus far.
Yeah, it's been going pretty well. A lot of people on our team, we've broken so many records already, lots of new top 10 marks. We have some national qualifiers, both for indoor, Ainara Sanderosas, yeah, she qualified for nationals. And then outdoor is looking pretty good too, for some nationally qualifying marks and time. So it's been great for, I believe, our whole team. My season's been going decent. I'm content with it, but definitely just trying to finish out strong again, give it my all, and try to have fun with it being my last couple meets. So.
This past Saturday, you got the opportunity to compete up in De Pere,
Yeah.
at least in one event.
Mm-hmm.
How does that help maybe just get used to your surroundings for what maybe you can expect here this weekend?
Yeah, we definitely believe that being able to compete at a track that we're going to be competing at for conference is super helpful. Every track is a little bit different. Some tracks feel really good to run on, others you feel fast, others you feel slow. So I think being able to go there last weekend was a great way to set up our whole entire team for jumping, running, throwing, and doing everything that we do, because we're just a little bit more used to it now. And even the weather too. I know it might not be the same, but it's definitely different up there than it is down here. So.
And I heard you guys had to get up extremely early to try to beat NFL draft traffic. Is that true?
Yes, we did have to get up pretty early. Our team met at 6:10 on Saturday morning. So yeah, it was an early morning.
You get to at least sleep on the way up?
Yes, I try to, whenever we have the long drives, I always try to take a nap, and I know everybody on our team does too.
So now with your schedule changing a little bit here in the springtime, have your events changed at all, or are you still focused on some of the same events you have been in the past?
I'm still doing the same events, still sprints and long jump and the relays for outdoor, but yeah, that hasn't changed much. It's been the same for the past couple of years.
So what does this weekend look like, at least for you, schedule-wise? How busy does Friday and Saturday get?
Yeah, so on Friday, I believe I'll be doing the 100 and 200, and then those will just be the preliminaries, and then hopefully qualify for finals the next day. So then on Saturday, it'll be long jump, the 100, 200, and 4x1. So it'll be definitely a busy weekend, but I'm excited for it.
How about for the team? What do you maybe expect from the Falcons? Obviously hopefully competing for that team title, at least on the women's side. Certainly St. Norbert, Aurora will be in that conversation.
Yes, we are very motivated to get top 2 this year. We are always so close to it. If we don't get to, it's always honestly by the last event. That's what it comes down to, which is exciting. It makes it more of a challenge for us and really pushes us hard. So we're hoping on the women's side top 2, men's side top 2 or 3, and I think our team is amazing. We're very, very capable of doing that. We have a lot of strong and talented athletes this year and in past years, but I'm really excited to see what we're able to do this year based on how our whole season has been going.
So finally, outside of the team goals of trying to be a top 2, top 3 finisher on the men's side, how about for you individually? What are you hoping to accomplish this weekend?
Yeah, I'm hoping to medal, hopefully, in all of my events, which would be top 1, 2, or 3. That is the ultimate goal, and if not, I'm hoping to just honestly have a good time with it, run the best that I can, jump the farthest that I can. Again, with it being my last meet, I really want to give it everything that I have because I know there's really nothing to lose. So those are the goals for this weekend, and really just to have fun with it and be with my teammates for a last time.
No question. Enjoy it. Savor it. Well, Sabrina, thanks a lot for your time, and all the best this weekend.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
That is Sabrina Moore. Kind enough to join us as, again, the Falcons get ready for the NAC Outdoor Track and Field Championships from St. Norbert on Friday and Saturday. Elsewhere around campus for Falcons athletics this week as the 2024-25 school year winds down. Baseball in action today up in De Pere taking on St. Norbert. They also have a big one coming up on Friday at Concordia, Chicago, preparing for what they hope will be a NAC tournament appearance. Softball is at Lakeland, a makeup. Softball competing for a top 3 finish as well besides the matchup against Lakeland later on today. They also will wrap up the home portion of their schedule on Sunday, 12 noon out at Catalyst Park against Concordia, Chicago. Women's tennis is in action today in a NAC tournament quarterfinal at IIT coming up on Thursday. Men's tennis in a NAC tournament semifinal. We also mentioned with men's lacrosse, they have their matchup, their semifinal against Dubuque coming up on Wednesday at 4 o'clock. Join us next week. We wrap up the 2024-25 school year. Thanks for joining us for This Week in Falcons Athletics presented by Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin.